Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Panel. I am. Why am I paused?
Yeah, we hear you. You just frozen. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there I go. Jesus. Okay. Man, delete. Alrighty. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Panel. I am Captivating Christian, and you are here at Cap Hill, and it's still doing it. Okay, but let's introduce ourselves, starting with, of course, the person closest to me. It would be Mr. Conscious TV. How are you? Happy New Year.
TV, as Captivating Christian just said.
Okay. Happy New Year to the folks. Nothing?
Happy New Year, everyone.
All right. And Rebel.
What's up, you guys? Hope you guys had a great new year. Hope you guys are looking forward to new beginnings in 2021.
And of course, last but not least, the executive producer of this Gentleman's Panel, Mr. Jay Wilson.
Happy New Year, and shout out to everyone. I hope you're having a great time. Captivating Christian got this new background, so it's taking precedent right now. And official King Payne gonna be on, but he late. And in this new year, we gonna move on, and I guess he'll be with us momentarily. I just wanted to just go ahead and let y'all know that he ain't quit the show. He just late. All right, Captivating Christian.
He is on his way. Okay, so I did have a whole thing set up, but of course it has been a crazy couple of hours. So with all that is going on, with all the mayonnaise being spread all over Washington, D.C., what are your thoughts of watching this display of unrest with Trump supporters, MAGA lovers, Blue Lives Matter, activists. So I'll start with you, Conscious.
I'd rather go last.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
All right, Rebel, what do you got?
Listen, I think that I'm not surprised. I wish I was. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. Just everything that's transpired is it just shows the disparity between the racial groups here. Just how everything was handled. They were just, they're just protesters. No, it's treasonous. I think when the last time something like this happened was when 1812.
Mm-hmm. When it burned.
So I just think that everything that's happening, those people, the 4 lives that were lost. Trump will forever be known as the president that tried to take just the country down with him. There's blood on his hands. It's just everything, going on is just. Well, now you got the Republicans coming out trying to Mitch McConnell and Barr. They're talking about him, but of course you can come out now because he has 13 days left.
Right.
Too little, too late. Their careers are down the garbage disposal. That's all I have to say on that.
Okay. Jay Wilson.
Well, I guess I go since conscious white woman had realness, privilege, wanting to go last. But anyhow, yeah, that's what happened.
2 minutes. Okay.
No, I'm taking the time because King Payne ain't here. Thank you. But at any rate, I think it is racism at its best. If Black Lives Matter would have been there, which we did see clips of Black Lives Matter. They had the National Guard. They had everybody there. If they would have stepped their brown foot on the step, they would have been shot down. So it's going to show me white privilege and what white people do. These people felt emboldened. They felt like they had gotten away with it. They should have been arrested right then and there. We shouldn't be have to trying to find them and look for them now. They got in Nancy Pelosi's office. I mean, just awful stuff. But then Then you think that it's just those people, but then I just read that University of Tennessee Chattanooga coach insult Stacey Abrams saying, and I quote, "Congratulations to the state of Georgia and Fat Albert at Stacey Abrams because you have truly shown America the true works of cheating in an election." And then he said, "Enjoy the buffet, big girl. You earned it. Hope your money was good. You still not governor." So this is the atmosphere and the attitude of white America, and those people in Georgia in those red counties are steaming mad because black people are flexing their political power, and it's making them afraid and upset. And this is what we're seeing in Washington and UT coach. All of this stuff is white rage and white fear, and that's what they're doing.
Conscious?
Because white people have been emboldened, black people need to stay strapped up because these are the same white people who are going to pull up to you at the stoplight and blow your head clean off. These are the kind of white people who are going to commit very heinous acts against humanity, aka minorities. So this is a very dangerous time for us to be coexisting in. So I'm gonna need all minority groups to get their ish together. Secondly, I think that this whole issue is interesting because this is also one of the reasons why Black Americans can't even really heal from the trauma of racism, because what happened yesterday was a complete demonstration of what angry mobs of white people look like and do, which historically for Black minorities are very triggering because these same mobs came through our homes, came through our businesses, came down our streets, burnt our churches, burnt our salons, evaded our privacies, and murdered Black people out in the open because they could. Secondly, I think that the fact that white people are confident speaks to what privilege actually looks like, that there was literally no white people.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between white patriots and Black patriots. White people, when they mean business, they don't simply shout it from the rooftop that they're white and they proud. They take. And I think that there's something to learn from if we want to talk about why white people have power, there's something that white people do that Black people don't, which is they take what they want. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with the conversations amongst Black minorities in this country in terms of how exactly we're going to dismantle privilege and how we're going to dismantle white supremacy, because once again, we keep having these negotiations and we keep trying to work and wiggle ourselves into places of power when we see that white people will come right through the fucking door. Right through the fucking door. So, yeah, if there's any receipts, if anybody ever wants to second inside our privilege, all we have to do is now replay this historical model and contemporary event and say, this is what privilege looks like in plain sight, undebatable, unnegotiable, inarguable, to the period in the spirit of campaign.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Conscious. Something you said, Rebel, that I wanted to ask you. You said almost on the lines of Donald Trump is to blame, but is Donald Trump really to blame? Wouldn't a lot of the Republican Party and a lot of his sycophants who followed him, who kind of spread the same kind of stuff he spread, wouldn't be to blame as well?
Of course, I think they all have a part in it. All their hands are dirty, but he was the catalyst behind it. He started the rhetoric. This whole thing, even going back as far as Obama wasn't from here and he was other. It's that whole mindset of us against them. They're taking what's ours. The mindset, the country's geography, the topography is changing. So they feel fearful because their place that they've held for so long is not going to be there forever. No king lives forever. He doesn't rule forever. So I think that them seeing black and brown people making, these strides in political, these states are changing to blue or purple. That's scaring them. And the Republican Party right now, those people, Cruz, those others, Mitch McConnell, all of those people contributed to the monster that we have now. They created this.
Right. So my question then to you all, what can we do? What can Black people do to, like you said, learn from it, of course, strap up, take note. But what can we do to further this to work in our advantage? What could we do to kind of use this to move forward to where we start to see more representation of ourselves? Jay Wilson, I'll start with you.
First of all, I just think that we really need to know who we are and get out of this slave mentality that we came here, from that. The history is very important. I think that we need to know too, like Conscience was saying, there's a lot of fear and white people will do this. They take stuff. But the sad part about it is the poor white folk at the end of the day are just being used as pawns. And so my thing is, I understand that I am a reluctant Democrat, and I say that because, again, we don't have a third party. But my thing is, I think Black people need to start demanding. I think they need to realize that they have political power, especially with this new president that's going to be installed on the 20th. They need to say, we got you in when you were getting ready to be counted out in South Carolina. We helped you win this election, and we gave you the Senate and the House, and we're coming to collect. And if not, we're going to vote you in. And Black people need to start pressing that Black caucus and telling them, hey, this is what we want, because we'll vote y'all behinds out as well. I just think that we really need to start doing this instead of fighting each other. We need to start finding some common ground and start demanding stuff. We really need to. History, knowing who you are, and then knowing that you have some power, but you got to operate in it.
Okay. How about you, Rebel?
As far as, I've said just everything. I think that we do have to come together more. Just even with the Democrats, I'm not just a Democrat that's following blindly behind Democrats. I think that this two-party system needs to be done away with. I think that, we're one country. Just as Black people, just definitely invest more into our education. Just get involved in politics more. Know who you're voting for. Don't just because someone is claiming to be blue, and for us, Democrats haven't always been for Black people. Let's be clear on that. I think that with Biden, he has control again of the Senate, Congress. There's nothing that's getting in his way now. So if they don't go in there and do what they need to do, I'm going to reconsider my party lines anyway if they don't. But I just think that we need to definitely be just more the whole thing of coming together, working, to a common goal.
Right. I definitely agree. We do need to arm ourselves, not just with weaponry, but we need to arm ourselves knowing what we're dealing with, who we're dealing with. We need not to go into situations and think, oh, we're covered or we're safe. Something like Ice Cube had said that he didn't get involved into politics because he thought everybody else had it handled. And it's like, we should never think that somebody has it handled for us. If you're not handling it, then it's not handled. So we definitely need to do that. We definitely need to come together, yes, but we need to leave a lot of the European mindset right where it is. We get into this kind of Democratic Party is weak because they're into giving, and the Republican Party is more manly. And this is why we had this shift of Black men not wanting to vote for the Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. And for what? I mean, you know, some of these same men can't even pay child support, being chased down by whomever to support your children. So it's like, but you can tell someone what a man is. This is just ridiculous to me. But anyway, from that, anybody have any? What'd you say?
I want to answer that question.
Oh, sure. Well, I thought you answered with the get your guns and the this, but go ahead, answer.
First of all, those invaders and colonizers did not breach the White House. They were invited into the Capitol.
Right.
We saw officers move barricades and allow those colonizers into the Capitol, which then tells me that those officers and or our government are in cahoots, and they're with the shits and with the shenanigans. See, one of the reasons why lawmakers can't protect us from offenders is because the offenders are the lawmakers. Right. Now, when we talk about what we need to do, I'm gonna go with unpopular opinion here, and I don't give a damn who feel what about it. You want to really know what to do? You're gonna have to turn America temporarily into a Middle Eastern country if you want to talk about what we really can do. The white people that you're talking about trusting and negotiating with and coming to the table with are not negotiable. Narcissism and maniacs you cannot negotiate with. White people just demonstrated to us they have no respect for the law. They have no respect for boundary. They have no respect for reason. Yet, when it comes to Black patriots, they will tell us to negotiate, to rally, and to protest peacefully while they pull out all the stops.
Right. Very
to
true.
fulfill and manifest their agenda. So it just goes back to this question of, I am curious to know going forward, what, as a community, what type of conversations are we really going to be having about proactively moving forward as a people in this country? Because if it involves trying to work with the system, let's see with the bullshit.
Well, what do you recommend then? So,
okay.
So what would you do?
See, I was one of those people who was actually really happy to see LA go down in flames. I mean, yeah, I feel bad for businesses and looting and all of that, but at the end of the day, that's exactly the level of aggression that you're going to have to fight this level of wickedness with. There's going to have to be a divine wrath. See, there's like wicked wrath, there's evil wrath, but then there's righteous and divine wrath. And that's something as a community that I don't understand why we don't entertain holy wars. Every other nation, when we look at other nations and we see them in a continual state of war, why that looks the way that it looks is because those citizens are maintaining a resistance to policies, dictators, and powers that they're not going to bow down to. So there's going to be a continual state of resistance. So but in America, we are really sophisticated and Black people are really docile somehow. And not really, because Black people know how to fuck other Black people up, but don't know how to direct that anger where it actually needs to be directed to. I am just entertaining the thought of the fact that I think we need a more aggressive stance. Does that necessarily mean all hell breaking loose per se? Right. No, but I'm also not afraid of that as a result. That's what ultimately it takes. And everywhere in history, war and aggression has been used to reconcile the differences, whether we're talking about the Christian Bible, the Christian faith, religions, every area of life where we've had to wrinkle out our political and social differences. Every community has had to use a aggressive stance. I wonder if Dr. King was alive today, would he still be telling us to peacefully protest?
It would definitely be the have and the have not, because you have some black people who are satisfied and they're not going to go with it. I think this is when we get into classism, because some black people are going to say, hell no, I've lived a good life, so I don't have any issue. So you're going to have those people as well. And I do understand what you're saying, but you know, that's interesting. You got to have resources too, and you got to have money and funding, and those things that some of us may not have, and are people who you're talking about willing to do that. You know, you got rappers and entertainers willing to sell out for $1 as long as I can get paid, so they really don't care. So yeah.
And I don't think everything should be handled with aggression, because if I worked hard to have something and you bring your black ass in there tearing my stuff up, I don't care if you're black, I'm gonna put a bullet in you. But my thing is this: back in the holy wars and all that, they were fighting with muskets and riding on horseback. Now we're fighting in wars. There's you know, there's a lot different type of technology. It's on the computer, you know, it's on the internet. It's airborne diseases. And I think that we should be aggressive, you know, be more aggressive, but we can't be people that are running around like mindless brutes and trying to get something done. We're not dogs. We're not smelling each other to determine who's male or female.
Here's my question to you, Rebel. But how is it that every time a conversation around aggression comes up, that the picture that's painted is reckless, non-strategic, random targeting? Because that's not the only because that's not what needs to come to mind in the context of a conversation about the way we need to strategically move forward. When I speak about at least a aggressive stance, I'm talking about an orderly, strategic, militant aggression in it out of a motivation to fulfill our personal agenda. The way that our military strategizes, the way that our police task force strategize, or hell, the people that evaded the Capitol were fucking country hillbilly ass white people who didn't need years and years of planning, okay, to demonstrate acts of aggression or to even galvanize together. So going back to even what Pastor just said, then the conversations need to be about what do our resources need to look like? Where do we need to pull the resources from? All of that is.
But you got to realize that country hillbilly had the blessings of Donald Trump, and so country hillbilly got in. But we look, you know, I just finished a diversity training, and I just had to clap back at the facilitator, because I say I live in the suburbs just like these other white people, and even though I have access, I gotta fight for the access where these people just walk on in. So my thing is, I think what we need to do is go back to the Mound Bayous and the Africa towns and the Liberty cities and these places, Eatonville, where there were self-sufficient towns with no need for white folk, with black millionaires and doing our thing. But unlike these other towns, to make sure we have some protection so they're not putting us interstate or shooting up the people or doing anything like that. Because we did have towns and those things, and I think that's where you build up to push that political power. I really do. One last thing captivating. Donald Trump really didn't like the Pequot Indians who have Foxwood Casino. Right. But one thing about those Indians in Massachusetts, or Connecticut rather, one thing about them is they gave the state of Connecticut so much money that the state of Connecticut said, screw you, Donald Trump, because these people have given money to our coffers, and money talks. Right. And my thing is, if you mess with us, we'll pull your money. And that's how those Indians have become successful, that all of the people who are in that tribe have a beautiful home and they have access. And I think we got to be smart about that. They use that money to talk.
Right. Well, I get that. Anybody have any final thoughts before we move on? All right. Well, thank you all for your insight on that. So, film and television star Taraji P. Henson recently came out and discussed that during COVID, she has had suicidal thoughts. And that just, it shocked me because, you know, when you see her, you just see, you know, a bright, bubbly person, somebody who kind of sort of don't take no mess, but still like fun to be around. So then my question to you all was, one, how are you holding up, or how do you keep yourself level-headed during this time of, I won't even say lockdown because it's not as locked down as it was, but during this time of isolation to an extent? Like, what do you do? How did you feel when you heard the news or when you read the story, and so on and so forth? So I'll start with you, Brother Jay.
Well, I think that it is sad that, number one, she is going through that, and I'm sorry. And the reason why I'm kind of off, I just got a text from the Democratic Party to run for office. We'll talk about that later. But anywho, I was saddened by it, but it goes to show you that money doesn't buy happiness.
Mm.
And if a person who has that wealth and access is going through, then it means that a lot of other people are going through. Depression is real, and this is why we need to make sure that we have someone who's professional that we can go to help us with our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that really got me is that these people in Hollywood, they work on shows. And if they're not getting shows, they're not getting money. You still got to pay mortgage. You still got to pay car payment. You still got to pay these expenses. And when they don't work, they don't eat. In a sense of that they don't have money coming in. Mm-hmm. And it's very stressful to her. And this is why I tell people, when you live that Hollywood life, you better be saving money and putting money back. It's okay to get that big house, but then you need to sell it right away so you can have a profit, because now that was mentioned. She's having some thoughts because things are not coming through because of COVID. So I think that she has this external fight with getting parts, and that's dealing with her psyche and not being able to be in contact with folk. And somebody just like her, who you say happy-go-lucky, is really suffering. But I'm glad she mentioned it so other people can get the help that they need because of her.
Right. How about you, Conscious? What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. Like HIV, depression doesn't have a face, and most human beings at some point or another are going to be impacted by feelings of sadness, grief, dissatisfaction, discontentment. If anything, celebrities and those who are wealthy and famous actually probably are more miserable than any other human being. I don't think the issue, because of the exacerbation of mental health during quarantine, that quarantine is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
What's really happening is, because of quarantine, people have enough time to sit within their lives and realize that they really fucked up. They fucked up on who they chose as a husband or wife. They're dissatisfied with the choices that they made. They're unhappy with the condition of their families. And there's something about sitting still that will allow you to become uncomfortably introspective, which is why a lot of people don't like to sit still, which is why a lot of people don't like to be introspective. So this is an introspective time, and depression and anxiety and suicidal ideation is widespread across the board because that pandemic and this quarantining is allowing us to sit within our lives. But the goodness and the grace within this, all of this depression, all of this unhappiness and unrest within us now, is the fact that we can address where we are, how we got here, and if we want something different for ourselves going forward. So this is an opportunity, if anything, for rebranding, for transformity, for evolution. This is an opportunity for repentance and to be reborn again, if you will, because you get to tally up the score and look at what you've done so far. And if you're unhappy with that, that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't encourage people to be focused on the unhappiness. Just realize that it's an opportunity for you to realize that I am unhappy, and now to do things very differently in order to have a different reality to exist within.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rebel.
You know what? I think that sometimes people forget that celebrities they're like us. And I think some of the loneliest people have large amounts of people around them. Look at people like Michael Jackson, Prince, Robin Williams, River Phoenix, Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer of all time, but he had an addiction. And there was no one that all these people, this whole entourage that he had. And I think it's this whole thing with the pandemic is causing people to really have to evaluate who they are, because some people just don't know how to cope when they don't have large groups of people around them all the time. You're by yourself now. You have to go inward. And I think sometimes people forget that the strongest people that their appearance, the facade that they give us, is not really who they are a lot of times.
Yeah. I will say that I'm happy that this is not the first time she's talked about mental health and her struggle with mental health, even in her family with her father having mental health issues, because it brings to light, especially for Black people. It's something that we do not talk about. We sweep under the rug. We don't get help, and people suffer in silence. And what needs to happen is we need to start getting help for these things instead of always running to the gym or trying to lose weight from Weight Watchers or whatever else bullshit crap is out there. We need to worry about our mental health just as much. Talk to somebody, really seek out those deep-seated issues. There's a lot of trauma in our families, and we need to face that.
Yeah. Lynn T, thank you for putting up the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Well, that's really good.
Yeah. Anybody have any other thoughts on that? No. All right. So moving right along to something far more controversial. Reality star.
Not so much.
Nene. Reality star Nene Leakes, right, has come out and wants to, or has already organized a protest with Bravo and accusing Bravo of being racist. So my question to you all was, what were your thoughts? Did you agree, disagree? Where did you kind of feel? Did you feel she was right? And I was just curious on that. So I'll start with you, Conscious.
I did a whole video about this the other day.
I saw.
In short, of course, there's anywhere there's white people gathered together in lots of numbers, there's a high probability of there also being a presence of racism on one level or another. So I'm not refuting Nene Leakes' claims that there's racism, but the issue with Nene Leakes is that she's also a pandering, selfish, narcissistic bitch who tends to only really complain when it is that she doesn't get what she wants. Nene has a real habit of just drawing out the wildest wild card when her needs aren't being met. She was good friends with Kim Zolciak for 121 years.
Right.
And she even helped Kim Zolciak to get onto the show. And then Nene and Kim Zolciak's relationship fell in and collapsed. She also accused Kim Zolciak of being racist. So Nene has a habit of just saying saying the ugliest shit just because she's disgruntled, she's frizzy, her wig is not glued down. And so it makes it difficult to rally behind somebody who is so elitist and who's so materialistic and who's so full of shit. And now we're in this predicament as supporters to where we have a real issue that does need to be addressed if it's just that. But then again, it's because of who is claiming it's because of who this is that I'm like, girl, I don't know. On top of that, Nene Leakes has not produced a single receipt about the so-called racism at Bravo. On top of the fact that she just got on live with her attorney, and even after getting a attorney, still wants to have a private conversation with racist Bravo so that they can work things out in the background. I mean, bitch, make it make sense. I mean, it makes
pick a choice. Yeah,
make it make sense to me.
Yeah. How about you, Rebel? Your thoughts?
Listen, what Conscious was saying, Nene she's a narcissist. And she's one of those women that have used gay men as handbags because she it's convenient to have the gay on the show. I've never looked at Nene as being some type of a person that wanted to fight for gay rights. She used us for an opportunity. And the whole thing of her coming on and we need to band together now, and Black people are being treated differently. Of course, I think Bravo catered to the white housewives, because look at Vanderpump and some of those other groups of white women were going to Egypt and Fiji. The Black people were going to New Orleans.
Right.
So I mean, I think that I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon with Nene, because Nene, she's looking at any opportunity for herself, and that cattle call, come together now as Black people. We're all. When she wasn't for all the other Black women on the show, hell, she wasn't for Sheree. Didn't she say some people that shouldn't be on the show when she made those comments?
Right.
So were we together then? I mean, where was the unity then? No, Nene, girl, don't have a seat somewhere.
How about you, Jay Wilson? Your thoughts?
I'm on the same line as Conscious when it comes to Nene. It's amazing that this poor woman, or this person who was really not all that glamorous and elite, got on the show. And people were rooting for her when she first came on because she was the raw one, but then all of a sudden she got that the white nose and got them chiclet teeth in her mouth, and you couldn't tell her nothing. And it was like, okay, I have arrived, and so it turned people off, because people like the Nene, and not to say that she had to stay that way, but it just went to her head. And unfortunately, I believe that Bravo is racist by what Rebel said. How Andy treats them on the reunions compared to other people, how they're treated and stuff. But I believe that other actors and actresses who have claims about racism get a bad rap because of people like Nene, and people believe her, but people dislike her, to the point where it's like, well, we really don't care because we don't like you. Another thing is, these people know the system. They know this system. I feel some kind of way about Monique, but Monique, you knew the system. Paul Mooney told you this system was like this. He told you. And then when it happened to Monique, then the gatekeepers. Well, you knew Tyler Perry, Oprah, and Lee Daniels were gatekeepers when you were playing the game. And that's the whole thing. So the game is played and it's good, and you play it until the game doesn't work for you anymore. And I think that's a lot of what's going on.
Right. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that to that extent, because I was like, okay, well, Andy was your best friend. A couple of episodes ago, you was his co-host on Guess What's Happened Live, because every time I turned it on, it was Nene Leakes. It was Nene Leakes. So now all of a sudden, Bravo, meaning Andy Cohen, is racist. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure he is racist, because there's a lot of racist white gay men, running rampant. So I'm sure he possibly is racist. But however racist he is or was, you was able to tolerate it, and you was there for all the funs and games until it wasn't convenient for you. Even when you went back and forth, I see you. Even when you went back and forth with the I'm going to come back, I'm not going to come back, and then you finally come back after they negotiated your contract. You came for that season or whatever, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of hard to believe her when she's been such a friend to Andy. Now all of a sudden there is this huge disdain for him and his practices, but you were all for it in the beginning. So what were you going to say, Conscious?
I posed this question in my discussion on my platform, and I'm going to pose it here too. The reason why, despite me having my own personal issues with the way that God got Nene Leakes' personality set up, is because I can believe.
I think you might have to repeat that. You froze.
Yeah.
You freezing.
What you might believe. All we heard was I might believe. But
that plastic surgery, and let me add to that. You know, the plastic surgery that Nene had has paid off, because I only know one YouTuber with a longer snout than Nene in Texas.
Oh Lord.
But no,
I'm conscious. I hope he comes back on. But I just think people know the game. And when you go to Hollywood, and let me go back. You know, I look at Whitney Houston. Sissy Houston knew about Clive Davis.
Right.
These people know about these folks. And this is why I can applaud people like Chip Fields, who helped Kim Fields navigate the ugly waters, and even told her daughter when she got on The Housewives, one season and get the hell out. Right. And that was the hardest thing she did, because she didn't need to be there messing up her brand either. Oh Lord, look who comes in.
Okay.
Conscious, I'm so sorry.
All this hair swoop to the side. What's really going on?
Anyway, Conscious, could you finish what you were going to say?
Same side.
I think no, I was going to ask. I asked this question because I don't really try to entertain the whole like model citizen bullshit. Like, I don't need to, because I don't like you doesn't mean that makes you less credible in a situation. So with that being said, and by us understanding that racism is rampant, racism is like the blood and heart of America. So my question then is, I also empathize with Nene, because historically, everybody else who's not white has had to work with, alongside, and navigate racism, because it's that ingrained into the fabric of our culture. With that being said, Nene Leakes dealing with racism to get by as a Black woman is like the whole Black community at this fucking point. Like, just navigating a racist ass country, like these racist ass music labels, these racist ass production companies, these racist ass like producers, like. So what type of a rock and a hard place does that put Black people in? Who on one end, like, America is racist. The business of America is racist. We have issues with race relations, but then we also have the matter of Black people still need to make a living, still need to be respected, still need to provide for themselves. So where's the line between like standing on principle and then taking one for the fucking team? Like, if I stand up to my racist boss, my racist superior, there's going to be a collapse on one end.
Right.
Because I feel like also, if we're going to like start standing the fuck up, we're going to have to start like, we're going to have to create cushion
for standing up. Yeah.
We're going to have to be a community when people within our community don't sell their souls in order to stay principled people, when they are willing to be uncompromising and deal with the repercussions. So I want people like Nene and all others to be able to stand the fuck up, but I don't know if we have enough preventative measures or enough like resources, or if there's like a counterbalance to protecting those people when they do stand up to power and speak truth about it.
And this is why I have a problem with the Tyler Perry, the Oprah Winfrey's, and the Lee Daniels, because they are in positions to be able to help, but they're not going to do it, because, sad to say, the oppressed learns to be better oppressors than the people who oppress them. And sometimes Black people can oppress worse than white folk, you know. And so we need to get rid of this gatekeeper mentality. And we're gonna do like Tyler Perry. Okay, dude, I understand you writing all your stuff, doing this. I'm not mad at you, but you know how many people of color that you could hire and employ, but when you breed it and want it to yourself, you know that's what happens. And I mean, I think that sometimes we need to look at that as well. There are people who are in positions to help. Not one of our HBCUs should be in trouble right now with all of the wealth that Black people have, or at least some of these people. And only when one is closed, and that's when people step up. Now, granted, there are some bad management practices, and that's when you got to say, in order to get this money, this got to happen. But still in all, we don't even take care of our own schools. So, I mean, it's a lot that we can do.
Okay. King, welcome. Happy New Year to you. We were just talking about your thoughts on Nene Leakes.
Absolutely.
Bravo.
So Nene Leakes, I kind of feel like Jay Wilson feels. Don't say nothing now. I feel like the only reason she's speaking out now is because she's no longer the HBIC. When she was running things, when she was the token girl, everything was good. Now that you're cut off, okay, girl, the resources have dried up, girl. You want to speak out, oh, they racist. They're racist now. You know what I'm saying? Now you want the girls to boycott. No, nobody's boycotting. You dealt with it to get to where you're at. So you don't want the next girl to come up behind you. That's what it really is. Like, it wasn't all that bad when you was there, you know, being paraded around. But now that you're not there, now that you're no longer part of the brand, you want to speak out.
It kind of reminds us of some of the ex-members of the Gentlemen's Panel.
Oh, my.
Oh God.
And you know, even to add to that, I've witnessed Black guys that have only dated white guys, and then when it goes down, when it falls apart, they're like, he was a racist. He always saw, and it's like, wait, hold up. Now you didn't bought your blue purple colored behind over here. Now, did you think you were passing for white? And you know, so all of a sudden, the ex that you had is a racist that you were with for 2 years.
Right.
Okay, girl, bye.
And you was with it all before.
Okay.
Real quick, since you just came in, let me just get your thoughts on the civil unrest by your Mene's counterparts in DC.
Good. Clearly something strange is going on, because y'all know that if our Black behinds what's up there now, these mayonnaise counterparts, now they the real monkeys, okay? They up there climbing the walls, okay? You see them climbing the walls barefoot, and all kind of stuff. And you know what? I was telling my friend earlier today, I said, you know the difference between the Black Lives Matter movement and whatever the hell it is that they're doing?
Right.
You know, when they was breaking into the building, right? They were breaking into the building. They were clawing. They were beating. They were breaking into the building. As soon as they was getting through, right? They shot, okay, and hit that lady in the throat, okay? When they hit that lady in the throat, then nobody ran. Nobody ran. They stood there. They was ready to die. You know what I'm saying? They was sticking together, okay? Now, y'all all know that had it been our Black tails up there, and they would have shut that gun off, you would have seen us going in all kinds of different directions, okay? Oh, period. We not doing all of that, okay? So it's a lot going on, but I was noticing that. I said, oh, they really stick together. Like, they really sticking together. And they up in there taking pictures with the police and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, honey.
That's right. And they didn't even let the Black police know. He up there running with a baton in his hand. Everybody knew himself.
He driving. He had to go back and
Rufus running. Got Rufus running all up the steps and stuff. Rufus had that baton, baby. Rufus like, He said, I can deal with two of y'all, but I can't deal with all of this. Rufus running up them steps.
Mm-hmm. Yo, and why was the security so light? You know, at the Memorial Building, where is all the police at? They would have had so many police out there had it been a Black Lives Matter poster.
But they did. They showed it. They showed that they had the National Guard and the whole thing surrounding the Capitol when Black Lives Matter was there, because they did. So yeah, they did. What were you saying, Conscious?
No, I was going to say that they didn't even give Rufus the damn gun. They gave him a flashlight and a stick.
And a baton. But Tom, Rufus all up on them stairs, and Rufus like, "Nah, I'm gonna beat somebody." Hey, then Rufus said, "Oh no." Rufus was trying to just. Everybody got the memo except Rufus.
But what's so funny about that is watching that black officer kind of not like be shook and not really know what to do. Yeah. The white mob was so interesting to me because I think that even us as black people, we've been conditioned to even protect white people and to not incite the same level of violence upon them as they've been willing to incite upon us. Like, it was just interesting watching him because I don't believe he would have been that apprehensive had it been a bunch of niggas running up.
Yeah, because the narrative is that we are angry, we are mean, we are, we are beastie anyway. So it's always that thing of showing that other side, showing that more gentler side. Even in religion, we, that turn the other cheek, don't do harm to those who do harm to you kind of thing. I don't know.
But it's selective because we do harm.
We do it to ourselves. Yeah, we do it, but we don't, not to them mainly. Not to them mainly, which is a bit of an issue.
Somebody got trade calling.
Ooh. Pick it up, ding.
And see, that's exactly what I mean when I'm talking about we don't stick together. Our people, you know what I'm saying? We don't stick together. Black Lives Matter protests are totally different. And then people, this is the highly organized event that took place. Y'all have to think about it. That girl that was shot in the neck came all the way from San Diego. They've been planning this. They knew that they were going to lose. Okay? So you're like, okay,
have her up as a patriot. Fox News gonna say,
we send prayers out to the family. For what? For what? Did she not jump the window when that man was armed and probably said, "Stop," or "I'm gonna shoot," or whatever they said? Just like they tell us all the time. Well, you got to do is comply. It would have never escalated if they would have complied. Well, the same thing goes for you. She didn't comply and she got a 2-piece in the neck. Done deal.
The sad part about it is they got in the Capitol building, and that is insurrection. That's the whole thing. And then they want to compare them on the Patriot channel, which I listen to on Sirius XM, because you got to know what the enemy doing. Then they want to compare Black Lives Matter to this mess. What people don't realize is Black Lives Matter is peaceful. Yes, people loot, but they don't have anything to do with Black Lives Matter because some people looting for their own reasons, but that's not that because the group doesn't promote that. That's number one. And usually when people are looting and mad, it's because they done seen somebody's neck being crushed by somebody's knee or somebody getting shot. They have justifiable cause. These people didn't have justifiable cause because the election wasn't stolen. And the sad part about it is they all as a group intentionally went in and broke into the Capitol. I mean, a group. So you can't say there's a fringe group. All of them went in there. Okay.
Well, how you looting from something that actually celebrates your own whiteness? Like, you went into a building to destroy something that celebrates and promotes your whiteness.
So black people need to be scared. Don't white people up there taking podium.
Hey, okay. These are thugs, okay?
Right.
Those are not protesters. Those are thugs. Those are not protests. Those are riots, okay? Right. That's what it is. Now, when it's us, they be calling us all different sort of things, okay? Yeah. But when it's them, they want to be like, oh, they're protesting. No, that's not no damn protest.
I wonder what would have happened if a black man had a rifle and then shot somebody trying to protect the Capitol. I mean, would they get their immunity? Would the police ride by them? I wonder what that happened. Would they start making merch to get them out?
And even with Black Lives Matter, Jay, we would see different types of races mixing with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
When you look at those groups of people, it's a whole, baby, it's nothing but a sea of pink. There's no other color, but basically they're so covered up, a lot of them, they're cowards. But the Black Lives Matter, you see all types of races.
And not one nary mask. All these people ain't have no mask. The event, no mask. At least the Black Lives Matter people had masks on and they protested with masks. These people didn't have no mask on and everything. And again, being used by this wealthy man to shape a narrative. This reminds me of the Crusades. Y'all want to fight a holy war, but it ain't really about God. It's really about land, property, and power. But yeah, that's the narrative you get. Okay.
Yeah. These people know that they're protected. They know that they're protected. They were so bold and so arrogant. They was going into the offices. They was taking pictures. Got their feet kicked up on the desk. Like I said, when that woman got shot, they didn't even run. They stood there. Like, you gonna have to kill us all.
Right.
But I know Jay is going in on that Chinese food right now. He keep clicking out.
Right. All right. So moving right along. All right. So as the movie, of course, Paris is Burning has been introduced to a whole new generation of young people, old people, middle-aged people, black, white, whatever, due to the success of Pose. There was a video with Chris Brown, and I guess it was his music, but the video actually had a transgender woman in it. And there was a lot of backlash, a lot of fire on Twitter. So my question was, again, what were your thoughts on this situation with the backdrop of the trans community actually being involved in Hollywood more and more due to Lorraine Cox and others? What were your thoughts? And I'll start with you, King Payne.
I thought the music video was cute, and I really didn't care for the song, but I thought that the video was cute. I felt like because the song wasn't all that, that's why they chose a trans woman to kind of bring in to bring attention to the song, because the song's not hot. Okay, the song is not it. Wow factor to make people go and watch it. At the end of the day, us watching and talking about it is bringing them coins.
Right.
So whatever you feel about it, it don't matter because you're watching. So thank you. Right. Have a nice day. So I thought it was cute, and I like the fact that we're being represented in different areas of the industry because we've always been there.
Okay. And how about you, Rebel? Your thoughts?
I'm glad that we're coming to a place that people can live in their truth, and people that are trans can see other people that are trans. Much like we always wanted to see other gay men. We wanted to see depictions of us other than the men on Living Color. We wanted to see there's different types of gay people that make us, make up our whole group. Right. I think, and the people that were hating the most, it was sad that were other Black people. When we're always talking about unity and working together, and I saw a lot of the negative comments coming from people that look like all of us.
Right.
So if we've been some people that are if you're asking for acceptance to be treated as equal, why are you disparaging another group of people that you feel that are lower on the totem pole? It's crazy, but I'm glad the video the song wasn't a bop, but it's getting attention right now because of it being a trans woman. And baby, her hair was laid. I was like, okay, look at Conscious TV up there with that hair.
And
I think she was a good representation for trans women. And I think we need to see more of that.
Okay. Conscious, what were your thoughts?
I wasn't surprised by the backlash. I mean, we're talking about an aspect of Black culture that's completely toxic and anti-queer and anti-LGBT. Just another example that the world of social media, and when we talk about visibility, is much different than the reality that queer people actually exist within. One of my issues with our heterosexual community is that they think because there's hypervisibility at this point, because of Pose, because of T.S. Madison, because of the visibility of a Billy Porter, that things have gotten better for LGBT people, or that this has been an elevation collectively for the community, when this has only been an elevation of those who are protected by their fame and wealth. The rest of us living at the ground level are still living alongside and next door to those niggas in that comment section who had an issue with trans women, who had an issue with LGBT individuals. So, of course, I wasn't surprised, but I also think that it's important for us to take, what's the guy's name?
Jesus, what's his name? Jesus.
Money Jesus.
Yeah,
I think it's important for like our heterosexual allies like Tank, who's also very pro LGBT. He performs at Pride. I think it's important for us to also protect these people, because I thought that he had a lot of tenacity and a lot of courage because he knew what he was doing. He knew what the backlash probably would be. And I understand how much it takes for Black cis hetero men to give up their privilege and to even do something that unique. And I think that as a result, like, we should hold these people up. Like, we need to be booking Money Jesus. We need to be making sure that he gets his bag. He needs to be performing at the queer venues. Like, we need to make sure that whatever L he's taking as a result of trying to stand up for us, we on the end are showing our appreciation by also cushioning him, because of course there's going to be a witch hunt against all cis hetero Black men who still have a capacity to love trans women or appreciate gay people. I mean, Malik Yoba got his ass chewed the fuck out when he came out and tried to bring this whole conversation between the Black community and the trans community and the LGBT community to a centerfold. And cis Black hetero people, they dog walked Malik Yoba. I mean, it was so disgusting. And so it's heartbreaking because a lot of cis hetero people don't realize that they keep a lot of other cis hetero people from even being loving contributors and allies to the community. And so you have a lot of Black men who aren't homophobic and who are going to stay away from you, not because they're afraid of you, but because they're afraid of people like them who are going to social distance from them, judge them as a result of liking someone like you. There's been conversations on this panel about why we can't get straight men up here, and it's because they're not afraid of us. They're afraid of what the opinions of their peers will be, being a group of queer people. So there's a conversation that needs to be had between queer people and straight people and some fucking resolve, but straight people continue to fuel homophobia, and this is how we're feeling it.
Right. It's very true. Jay Wilson?
You know what? First of all, I am in agreement with the gentleman. The song wasn't that great, but so WAP wasn't either. The video sold that as well. So, you know, here's what it is. But I thought the storyline was good. It made sense. It wasn't stupid. You know, you had this trans woman in the subway, people looking at her strange. She sits on the train. She gets in a conversation with this woman. This other woman looks at her like, no, we're not going to have that conversation with her. She's with her boo. She was trying to figure out when he was going to meet the family. They finally meet up with the family, and that same woman who told that girl to turn around was actually related to that man. So I thought that was a good story. It had a good story.
And would you highlight something? I'm sorry, Jay. I was going to say, Kat, would you highlight what Pretty Brown Eyes said?
I know, I saw it.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jay. What were you?
Oh, that's okay. So the big deal is that I thought it was a good story. First of all, trans people have been here. It's not like they were in some closet or something. They have been here. And their stories are being told now, and anybody who has an existence on Earth needs their story told. And I'm glad their stories are being told. Number one, it's almost like church, though. Long as you're quiet about it, we good. But when you become vocal, this is when we have a problem. So now trans people are being vocal. Another thing is trans people have been marginalized by the LGBTQ plus community. So people don't realize that trans people really ignited the Stonewall, and unfortunately white folks stonewalled their effort. while they were in the apartments looking at these trans women get their behinds whooped, and people of color getting their behinds whooped, they up there laughing. It's them women who fought to even get them their rights, but yet they even take over that story. Right. And so I just think it's terrible. And so it's bad enough that trans people have to fight the fight in their own community. So if your own community is doing this, then you can imagine what it's going to be like with like Conscious said, heterosexual individuals. But I think that they need to tell their stories. Trans people are human beings who work. A lot of them who can't work is because of other people's hang-ups and prejudice, not because of theirs. And so, you know, I just think that we need to look at it. And I want to say that I know 2 trans people in the San Antonio, Austin area who are in public health and who are doing the thing. They are educated. They are doing what they need to do. If you give people the opportunity, they will surprise you. And I think that we're afraid to give these people an opportunity because they may surprise us, and we don't want to get shown up. So I applaud that rapper's effort, and he said he's not taking it down. He meant what he said. He's not taking it down, and I give him props for that.
Yeah, I think that was great.
And yes, my Chinese food is here.
We know.
Okay, then I just want to make sure you do
on it. Them jaws were moving. Cap, what were you going to add something to it? Because I was going to add something.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know what? I have to say that as a gay man, when I first came out, I looked at trans people as oddities and like people that did drag, because the mindset that was put in me as a kid was I saw people point at those that were different. And it was something that I just wasn't aware that I was doing when I would go to the clubs and I would see the drag queens or people that were trans. I would kind of, you know, be taken a bit back, you know, but some of my closest friends ultimately did drag, and I was around people that were, you know, trans people. And I understood if a person's preaching against me or them, they're preaching against them, they're preaching against me. If they're talking about gay people, we're all under the same umbrella, regardless to you top, bottom, femme, masculine, we're all gay people at the end of the day that can get some type of a, you know, just because of who we choose, who we are loving, can make us not be able to live or work certain places.
And they talking about themselves too. Even if you sneaking and DL and doing it, you still talking about you. So right. I find that odd too. Don't get me.
Because you know when you come up, they'll say when I was talking to some certain family members, it was like, you don't want to be a woman, do you? You know, it's okay if you're gay, but you know, I don't want to see you with breasts. So it was just that mindset. They thought anyone that was coming out as a gay person, you're going to automatically start becoming trans.
That's crazy. Whew. That's deep. I'll
add to that.
Go ahead.
The conflict with homophobia is that this is heterosexuals.
Yeah.
Like this is their version of privilege. And what it is heterosexual people being completely entitled to what is considered normal. They consider themselves to be the gatekeepers and the authors of what is normal. To the extent that anything that strives and yields away from that deserves either the utmost criticism or profound violence. And I think that like heterosexual, I mean, really all of us really, but really heterosexual people just have to get over the fact that you don't own reality. People get to show up in whatever way they want to. This goes beyond just even being trans and gay. Like I could be a straight man and look like this if I want to. I don't have to be gay to look like this as a black man. I don't have to be gay to wear my hair long. I don't have to be gay to wear makeup. Like I have a right, a creative right to my reality, just as you have a creative right to your reality. You want to practice whatever religion you want to practice, that's your right. You want to present however you want to present, that's your right as a man or a woman, but so is it everybody else's liberty to do so. So there's just a level of narcissism that is literally ingrained into cis hetero folk, and they just have an issue with letting go of a power they in fact just do not have. Like, you've been under the impression that you have power and have a say so. You don't have a say so over my humanity. You don't have a say so over my creative right. You don't have a say so over a motherfucking thing. And personally, anybody who's going to get in my way is going to get their ass completely monkey stomped. Because I'm not going to put up with the if, ands, or the buts regarding the dialogue.
And what's so really interesting about that is, again, you know, when you are doing dynamic things and people don't know they're great with it, but when they find out you're gay, it's like, oh my God. So Alvin Ellen, all of these people, all of these great people, some of these people were closeted, James Baldwin, all of these people. You know, my thing is, you know, their sexuality didn't change their mind. Their sexuality had nothing to do with their talent, whether if it's running or playing football, being creative, being an engineer. That has nothing to do with the other. And I think, you know, it just used to amaze me, you know, at churches, a lot of these people who third were gay. And the thing is, these people know, but it's like I said, as long as you're quiet, they're okay. You know, and you know, and I just,
they want your gifts and not the person.
That's why I keep on telling these women, if you don't like gay people, then stop going to them to get your hair done. Stop going to them for things and go somewhere else. You know, I just think it's hypocritical, and I think that we really need to you know, call people to the carpet for certain things.
Very true. All right. Shifting gears from that, Jada Pinkett Smith says she don't loan family members money. What are your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree? And I'll start with you, Jay Wilson.
You know what? I'm with Jada. If I have to loan it to you, then you ain't gonna get it. Because if I'm gonna give it to you, it's yours, and that's it. If I can give it to you, you got it. If I can't, then so be it. I'm not feeling guilty. And one thing I like what she said too is, are you ready to receive it? Are you ready to receive it? And so I think that was really good. I know a lot of people don't agree, but you know, I think she has the logic there. If I give it to you, it's yours, because then there's an expectation. When I don't get it, then we got some issues. So I agree with her.
Okay. Conscious, what are your thoughts?
Well, the context of her statement was she only gives when it's necessary, and she only helps when people can also help themselves. And what it seems to me is that she only gives the money when she's giving it to broke motherfuckers who don't have the means to pay her back. So in that context, she will give you the money rather than it be a loan. And in all those contexts, I completely agree. I am not going to loan you money to purchase a house that your $7.50 an hour job does not afford you to remain in. I'm not going to give you coin or let you borrow coin to buy high luxury items that you can't afford the maintenance of. There's literally no sensibility in that. I'm literally talking myself out of getting my money back by participating in the foolishness. However, I think also there's a lot of things that wealthy people can do, especially those wealthy people who don't come from wealthy families. Like, you're the only crab that made it out of the barrel. I don't know why wealthy people don't then like just create residual income that can help to keep money circular within their family. Like, you can open up a chain, like the vending machine business is a booming business. That's something very easy. Like, on the low end, like one vending machine you can rack up $8,000 a month just off of one vending machine in the right place. Like, these are just small things that wealthy people can invest in to create a pool of income that they can yield to if their family needs help with rent or help with bills, or somebody needs a vehicle. Like, and I don't understand why, especially within Black families, because it seems to me that there's a divide when it comes to black families and wealth versus white families and wealth. It seems like white people really take their tribe with them. They take their children, their children's children. They create, and that's how generational wealth is sustained within white families. But when black people make it out, they really don't want shit else to do with where they come from. They don't want anything to do with the community they come from the family they come from, and then it becomes a get it how you live, every dog for themselves mentality. So I agree with all of her reasons for why she does what she does, but I also think Jada Pinkett Smith, bitch, go open up some laundromats and help your people out. You ain't got to pull for your personal pocketbook. There are small investments that can take you a long way, that can help you to draw from some extra coin if you know that you got a family who's in need. Like you left a family who was in need. Like still in need.
Yeah. I mean, hell, get some Amazon trucks and let them, you can do that now. King Payne, your thoughts?
Okay, I'm period. Jada Pinkett, you can invest in me, girl. I can pay back. I got my own hair products. Okay, Stalking hair products. Check out my website, fishkeepay.net. But yeah, you ever see my edge control go crazy? But anyway,
much needed.
Yes, my mom always taught me to never loan out anything that I can't afford not to get back. Okay, on period. So I really don't loan out money. If I give you some money, I'm like Jada, I'm not expecting it back. The only time I really expect some money back, like if I give it to you and I really don't want to give it to you, and you said that you was gonna pay it back, like you was like, oh, I'm gonna give you this back on such a state. And 9 times out of 10, I know that the hoe is lying. But if I give it to you, girl, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there on the 15th or the 16th or the 1st, whatever day you said your little stipend come through, and I'm gonna see what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, they still ain't got no money for you. But yeah, it saves you a lot of headache. It saves you a lot of problems. Like, don't loan out no money because they always gonna let you down. Okay, people be all like, "Oh, can I borrow $30 till tomorrow?" Like, why you just can't wait till tomorrow? Like, what you need so bad today that you can't get tomorrow? So good. The whole thing is they start off with a lie. Whenever somebody asks you about the whole thing, it just be a lie. They don't know how much money they gonna get next week. Okay, next week gonna come around, they gonna be like, oh, things gonna break down the way that I thought it broke down, and all I got is $2.50 and a half a Snicker bar until next Friday. Is that cool, or like do I gotta sell my shoestrings? Like that's how they do you. That is how they do you. They make it up when it's time to pay you back.
No way. Rebel, what's your thoughts?
Listen, I heard Oprah say the same thing that Jada said. I'm not gonna loan it. If I can give it, I'll give it because I'm not gonna be expecting to get it back. And you know what? I've had family members that even like when they found out about, me doing the reality show thing, and they were like calling, you don't even know how it's set up. So you just hear reality show. He must be getting all this money. Now you my 4th or 5th cousin.
Wait, hold on. Which reality show was this? Oh,
the one that's to remain unnamed, that doesn't exist somehow. It doesn't exist that everybody keep talking about.
That was a free vacation and food, okay? And
but regardless to that, I think that when people heard that, you have 4th and 5th cousins coming out of the woodwork. Hey, kinfolk, and I'm already knowing when you calling me kinfolk, hey, cuz, those are softening words, kind of soften the blow before you ask for some coins.
Right.
And listen, I put someone out that was a good friend of mine years ago that moved in. I helped him get on his feet. One of my closest friends. This Negro wants to go to the club and he's trying to flounce it. He's letting everybody see what he have and he's buying new shoes. Oh, girl, wait, I'm changing the locks. You got to go. Because I gave you a couple of months to get your stuff together. But again, that was going along those lines of letting people, helping someone that's not appreciative. Listen, I can help you as family. There are certain family members, you can do whatever. You can walk on water. You can turn water into wine. They're still going to want more. It will never be enough. I won a lottery. I would set up college funds for kids that are finishing school. I could buy you a house, but I'm not going to pay your car note on a BMW every month. That kind of stuff. You know, I'll help you out, but I'm not going to. My immediate family, yes, but second, third cousins, even first cousins. My immediate family, yes. Close friends, yes. But all these people coming out of woodwork, our grandmothers were second cousins. Hell no. Bye.
I mean, but they still your family, though, right?
Yeah, and there are white people that are related to Obama that he don't claim Cheney as his cousin, right? I mean, you know.
And if my family asks for it, I know they really need it because they do not. They would bite their head off before they ask you for money. That's how we were raised. You know what I'm saying? So if an immediate family member say they needed it, they need it. I know because they just don't do it. It's not something that is custom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like me. I got my behind, drove Uber and rented these rooms out. I sure did because I was not going to ask folk for money. I just refused to do it.
All right, so coming upon our last question for the night. So let's talk about bedside manner. A male nurse got suspended for basically freaking off in the bathroom with a COVID patient. What were your thoughts on that? And have you done something similar to that? And I will start with Rebel, but he seems to be away.
Occupied. He probably with the patient.
Convenient. You said
okay.
Hold on. I was plugging up my laptop. Well, I know I wasn't eating, so yeah, I'm back. But as
you need to eat.
Right, baby, it's all in the right places. I got somebody that can tell you it's all laid down right. But as I was saying,
it's laid down.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I worked before. One of my first jobs was at a refrigerator warehouse, and I walked up on two of my coworkers messing around. Now, that would have probably not been that juicy, but it was two guys. One was gay, and the other was questionable. He kind of reminded me of you, Jay Wilson. But so this guy, when I walked up on him, they were so terrified. Baby, I got lunch every day for months. Then I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna spill your tea. You know, y'all do what you do. But they were terrified. They were getting me lunch, giving me rides home and stuff. But
they still together?
No, I don't know. This was years ago when I was like 19 or 20. So it was like about 7 years ago. But when I walked up on them, I was like, child, do you? But hell, you ain't worried about somebody else because some of these other people, you would have been fired. But, I've never risked. Now, let me stop. I have done something, but it was years ago. So any co-workers that I work with now is not at the job I'm at now. This was my first job, I didn't know any better.
Make that clear. Clean it up.
It was years ago. It wasn't recent. But, I had a supervisor that liked me, and we fooled around a couple of times at work.
Okay. Did you get any benefit from that?
I got weekends off.
I'm sure you
Everybody else had to rotate their weekends. I was rotating something else. But
I'm sure he had weekends off too.
With an official rotation.
Okay.
King Payne, how about you?
Okay, on period. You know what? See, I've had customers come on to me, you know what I'm saying? And I actually prefer, for people, if you like me, step to me, because sometimes I don't know, people just be nice to me sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I can't tell if somebody like me, so I prefer. But when you a boss, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about no bedside man or nothing. You can shut the whole shop down. Okay, on period. You can shut the whole shop down. You can have this right here on the countertop like this. Stop playing. You can do what you want when you a boss. Okay, on period.
Okay.
As for the man that was working in the old folk home, okay, in the COVID facility with the old people, see, I don't know. I don't agree. Okay, if you ain't the boss, you can't shut it down. Okay, you can't close the door and lock it without somebody coming and lock it. Then don't do it. Mm-hmm.
Right. And how about you, Conscious? Now that you got your got your mask on.
All right, Mortal Kombat in the house.
That shit was disgusting, deplorable, unprofessional, unhygienic, just ridiculous. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting my damn livelihood on the line for nobody, and ain't no ass a piece of dick that damn serious. I'd be exposing my damn self to COVID and everything else. Now, who I will do any and everything with and for is my man. If that was my husband in the hospital room, we can get it on wherever we need to get it on at in the hospital. But some random ass person who's sick as hell on the 7th floor. Are you okay?
These men, okay.
Are you okay? So yeah, no, it's a no for me.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jay Wilson?
Well, first of all, this hospital was in Jakarta, Indonesia, and what's scary about that is that's a Muslim country, so it could be stoned, and I mean that is that serious. Yeah. And my thing is, somebody must have either been real hot or real thirsty, because this was COVID, and I'm glad he tested negative, but it's sad. Now I'm gonna say this: I am not losing my job and my coin for anybody. Do you understand me? It is not worth it. It is not worth it. However, somebody did close down their shop. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody did close down their shop, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean,
somebody closed down their shop and they locked them doors. Let me tell you something. Any barber who cut hair on Monday, you need to question them, because barbers usually on Monday. Okay, barbers usually use money to go pay their bills. So it's not barbers on Monday. Okay, I'm just giving y'all a little clue. If they cutting hair on Monday, something going on.
Period. Okay, on period.
I thought it was disgusting as well. I don't think you should risk your livelihood for something like that. You could wait till after hours. Definitely if you're not the boss and you can't close it yourself. I thought that could have waited, but whatever.
I guess it could.
And I don't think anything was closed after that encounter.
I mean, so my thing is, this is COVID, but how we can't judge that man, because it's people who personal trainers and people who work with the public, and they ain't getting that little coin during COVID, and people selling things with masks on and stuff. I'm just saying, it's a lot of prostitution. Ain't always the solution, but people are definitely doing it to keep that mortgage and that rent paid, especially if you live in New York.
But the biggest issue now is that both the patient and the male nurse are facing charges.
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years.
If you needed sex that bad, like you could have just wait until you got to prison.
You could wait 14 days. Look, boo, I want it bad, but could you wait 14 days? Okay, and then retest. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I just thought that as a medical professional, you should have done.
Well, if it was in the United States, they would have probably lost their license. I mean, they really would have lost their license. Yeah. But it's
absolutely.
That was crazy. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I had. I hope you guys had a great New Year. Considering
I know my New Year's was lit.
I know Rebel rang it in, or somebody rang him in on the New Year.
They laid it down.
But I hope everybody did have a blessed one. If anybody cares to share what they did, that would be great. How was the trip, Rebel?
Oh yeah, well I'll go first. In that case, I went to Gatlinburg. I had a great time. I met some very cool people. We saw sights. We had a great time.
We did see some sights.
Anyways,
it's not roasting by an open fire.
Yeah, they were. But you know what? But the thing is, this group, they go every year to Gatlinburg. And, I was just like, being in the mountains, it was definitely a great experience. But I came back and, I got my COVID vaccine. I got my first shot and it was Moderna. And I go back on February the 3rd to get the second injection. And it wasn't, listen, I didn't, there wasn't any, pain. The shot was quick. They just stuck. I've been on dates and it was the same way, but I have a bandage, I hear the second shot is the one that's really more, you have to really put some, I'm going to take 2 days off because they say you have more, you may have a slight headache. Your one nurse manager told me she had a headache. She had to take like extra strength Tylenol. But after coming back from the trip, everything was good, and I'm looking forward for 2021 to be, a lot more positive things happening.
That's good. How about you, Jay Wilson? What did you do?
Well, I've got my second shot. I got that today, actually, at 9:00. And I didn't take any medicine. It's just not been, difficult. It depends. It affects different people.
And you got the Pfizer one, right?
I got the Pfizer. So
okay, and I got Moderna.
Yeah, so you got 2 content creators who have taken the vaccine, and we're doing okay. So yeah, but for New Year's, I spent some quality time with my loved one, and we actually had friends with masks on, of course, and we had a lot of fireworks because they really like to do a whole lot of that. So we did that, and then I had a good time. Christmas, we opened presents at 12, and got some really nice presents, and it was really good. So New Year's and Christmas really helped me reflect on who's important, what's important, and really just focusing on close friends and loved ones. And it was a really reflective time. So it was a good New Year and a good Christmas.
Okay, that's nice. How about you, King?
Absolutely. Well, y'all know me. Okay, period. Y'all know I kept it lit on
so it was a regular day?
Huh?
So it was like a regular day?
Yeah, it was like a regular day, but on steroids. Okay, I kept it lit on New Year's Eve. My manager contacted me, and she was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was just joking. I was like, "A plane ticket to Atlanta." You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "You want to go to Atlanta for New Year's?" I was like, "Yeah, you only live once, period."
Okay.
He bought me and her a plane ticket to Atlanta, and we went and turned up for New Year's Eve. Now, y'all know that you was turned up on New Year's Eve if you get kicked out the club after the countdown, okay? The countdown is when everything go up. And y'all know my motto. I always say, if you're not turned up when things turn over, you'll be upside down. I guess I was upside down on tonight because right after the countdown, okay, the security came and they escorted me up out of the building. I don't know what in the hell I did. I still don't know what I did. Huh?
You got Bulldogs?
No, I didn't go to Bulldogs. I been going to the straight club because I be looking for me and men's, not no friends.
He like trade. He's looking for trade.
Yeah, I'm looking for men's, not friends. I'm looking for men's, not friends. Quit playing. I didn't go to Bulldog. I went to Paparazzi. I went to Rebel. I went to Opium. I went to Compound. I went to Sweet Lounge. I went to the spot.
That's what you got through up out there. You have been lit. You got too lit.
But you just didn't go to Bulldogs. But they would have gave you all. You would have had to go to one place just to get all of that. See. Anyway,
did you go to Piedmont Park?
Bulldogs closed too early. By the time I get to Bulldog, I stopped by Bulldogs because my friend was like, "Oh, we should go to the gay club. We should go to the gay club." I was like, "Okay, let's go to the gay club. Whatever, girl, let's go." And we got there, and it was shut down. It was shut down. Like it was open, but they were closing. But there's a lot of spots out there that don't close to 6 a.m.
What day did you leave Atlanta? Did you leave?
I just got back yesterday.
So you were there when I came back. I was there on Sunday.
Oh yeah. I just got back like yesterday. I got back on the 5th, a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So, what did you do? How was your New Year's? Did you spend it with your grandmother?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My connection acting stupid. I actually had I had a romantic New Year's.
Okay.
A night of passion.
So, somebody that I've been talking to for on and off for like 2 years flew into South Carolina, and we ended up spending some time together. And now my relationship status has officially shifted. So I guess I am with man now.
All right.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Right. Other stuff
sealing the deal on New Year's.
Right.
I didn't say we sealed the deal. I said we had a very romantic New Year.
Okay.
Whatever.
Romantic. I mean, they were knocking boots. That's the translation.
Basically, that's the nice translation.
They did it soft. It
It
wasn't rough. It was soft. It wasn't rough.
Whatever. But anyway, my New Year's was cool. I spent it indoors with my peoples, and we just had a little party, music, lights, alcohol, and everything else. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna show y'all this. Look, this is some of when we were in the cabin, baby. We were having a. Can y'all see that?
Okay. Karaoke. Okay.
Look like, all right.
Karaoke.
Yes.
And just some breaking news, actually, as we were about to leave, Betsy DeVos is stepping down as Secretary of Education due to Trump's actions at the riot.
What, 13 days left? Yeah.
She ain't doing nothing anyhow, so it's not
right. That's what I said. That's why I was like, okay, what was the point of even?
You got less than 2 weeks left. What the?
Right. Just crazy. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by.
My official gag for Capitol was Mike Pence changing his background picture on Twitter to Kamala and Joe and unfollowing President Trump.
Really?
How is your own vice president? Your own vice president. I'm screaming.
Well,
amazing.
Mitch McConnell's wife resigned also.
She did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She did.
The only reason she was in there is the spy on Donald to get back to Mitch. She wouldn't never, but whatever.
She will resign officially on Monday though. Mitch McConnell's wife. So they don't know if she's sticking around, maybe if they try to implement the 25th Amendment. So who knows?
And what's that amendment?
Oh, that he's not able to serve as president anymore. So then Mike Pence would then step in as president.
Oh, he won these last 2 weeks, huh?
Okay, look, we also, guys, look, if y'all could be at the painting with a twist, we did it online. So we were all in the cabin painting with an instructor that was on the screen showing us how to paint some stuff.
Was he naked?
We couldn't. No, he wasn't naked. We were painting a wine bottle, you know.
I was just had a little sip and paint, and the man, he was naked.
And this is a good, you know what, Cap? This was a great show. You did a great job. I take my hat off to you for doing such a good job.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Keep them on. But anyway, what is everybody doing this week? Let the people know so they can pop onto your channels. What do you have going on? Anybody can go or start. Okay, fine. Well, on my channel, I'll be doing politics, talking about the 13 days left, about the white people and all the mayonnaise on the Capitol and everything else that's going on in this crazy world. But yeah, 13 more days left, actually 12 after this, and we'll have a new administration and a new start.
I'm looking forward to this new administration coming in. I'm going to be following it as well. You know, I'll come over there to Cap Hill and, get my feel over there as well. But I think that I want to, with everything happening with these vaccines coming, we'll be able to go out in the world. We're going to not be as, kept under lock and key. I think everything will be back to normal by like March or April. People are probably not, they're going to there's going to be some sense of normalcy because of the vaccine.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting a colonoscopy, and I'm
already get those.
Okay.
Don't you already get those on a regular basis?
Let me say this. I'm saying this not to be funny, but I'm saying this because we lost 2 actors because they didn't get it checked soon enough. And so you all colorectal cancer and all of that stuff, that's some serious stuff. So if you turn 45 now, I think they really reduce the age, especially if you have some risk, make sure you get that. But it's scheduled for next week, but no, that's not going to be filmed and taped, but I'm just letting you all know that it's important to get it because a lot of our people are dying because of that. So so that's good for me.
Just don't clench up too much.
I will be under anesthesia.
Okay.
I don't even want to feel it, don't want to see it, just get it done.
I can't think of how many times I've said that.
King Payne, you got anything going on?
All right, the official King Payne is back. Okay, I feel like the official King Payne has the most compacts. Okay, because I'll take a break and I'll come back. I'll take a break. I don't be taking no breaks. When I'm not on YouTube, I'll literally be too busy to get on YouTube. Well, anyway, I was taking a break for the holidays. I have my little Christmas party, and then I do this every year. After my Christmas party, I literally take a break, okay, into the new year, okay? Well, I'm back, okay? I'll be back in the home of the lituation tomorrow, okay? And back to my regular programming, okay? Back to doing lives and stuff every day. Dust Free Radio's coming back. We back, okay? New year, new king, period. It's lit. Y'all come check me out at the home of the lituation. Make sure that you guys are subscribed. All your notifications are turned on. And if y'all haven't already, make sure y'all like this video, okay? Because Cap kept it lit tonight.
Yes, he did.
Thumbs up it, guys.
And how about you, Conscious? Got anything going on this week?
I'm about to jump off the gentleman's panel and go onto my platform to talk about Tiffany Dover, the nurse who passed out and then disappeared after receiving her vaccination. That's a story that.
You found her, girl? I watched that.
She's still,
all night watching that. That was so good.
Thank you. She's still unfindable. So those of us who care to keep the story alive, we are going to be keeping our foot on the story's neck until we get some answers. And yeah, that's going to be that.
Trump is conceding.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just toast to that.
Right.
He already lost.
Well, all right, ladies.
I will be hosting.
Thank you very much. The next host will be Rebel Sun and the Sun Tribe. So please, before we head over to the Sun Tribe and show Rebel some love.
Yes, follow the smoke signals. You'll find me.
Yes.
I'm sure. All right. Thanks for coming out to my mods. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Holding down the fort. Appreciate you guys. To every other content creator and whomever else was in the balcony and bushes for some that like bushes. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope to see you next time. And until next time, we're out. Peace.